What's up, everybody? This is Rene Rodriguez with the Long Story Longer podcast. And today's guests are Bri Villalobos and returning guest Adam Avenue Tellez.
Yep.
Both from Yolotli, and then Bri's also in the band called Voyage.
Yes.
So I'm happy to have you guys here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for making the time to help me out with this podcast.
To take the journey out here.
Mm-hmm.
What's great is you're our first female guest, so it's awesome.
Ooh.
So we can talk about feminine products and
Do it, bro.
and
Do
whatnot.
it.
Right.
Yeah, things we have no idea about.
Yeah, man. So, to start things off, Adam did give me some insight about your musical start. If you can give me some details on how you got started with music and how you're here today musically.
Okay. I wonder what Adam said, but I've been singing pretty much my whole life.
Right.
Actually, kind of like runs in my family. My mom is still a singer, but she sang professionally, mostly in Mexico for a really long time. She actually got sponsored by, I don't know if by Bud Light, and she was like doing a tour with them, and then she ended up, like when she was 19 or so, she ended up falling in love and getting married and starting a family. And you know, I always tell them, like, why did you do that? Actually, why did you drop fucking Bud Light? But whatever. She was like, you know, I wanted a family, whatever. So I've been in the music industry, or just around it, surrounded by it, like pretty much my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
With my mom and my brother, who's also like a really good singer, but he's mostly like an audio guy.
Mm-hmm.
He has really good ear. And so when I was like 17, I think I was just like doing covers and just kind of like posting them online. And this guy named Angel, I'll never forget, he kind of like mentored me for a really long time. One day was like, hey, do you want to like open up for whatever, like local show? And I kind of started like doing just like little cover gigs, opening up for like local bands and artists or whatever.
And this is you playing guitar, or?
Yeah, just playing guitar and singing. And then I don't know if you guys remember the Percolator.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up playing a show there too. I miss that coffee shop so much. It was so cool. And then after that, I started my first band called Sirenas Waves, and it was a reggae band. And that was super fun. It kind of was pretty steady for a couple years, and we were about to record like our first album in San Marcos. And shit hit the fan. Like really bad out there. Anything that could have gone wrong like went wrong.
It happened.
And yeah, like there was no AC in the studios, which like pretty much like just took away the opportunity for us to be able to record because of the motherboard room or whatever, or the main room. We couldn't record because it would just like it would just overheat.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, like the band broke up. I was pretty like sad for a while, because like when you break up with a band, like it's like you leave a relationship,
mm-hmm.
you know, and it's just not just like a relationship with one person, it's like several people, you know, and especially when you start a project, like it's just very disheartening when, you know, it just doesn't work out.
Your whole routine changes too.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, I stopped singing for maybe like a couple years. I was pretty sad about it. And then suddenly, like I started doing karaoke contests.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason. I was like, whatever, let's just kind of like get back to it. So I started doing karaoke contests when I was like about 21 or so, and the karaoke contest pretty much like gave me the opportunity to sing a bunch of different types of
mm-hmm.
music, because every week there was like a different theme, like
right on.
Yeah, like 90s, 80s, whatever, 2000s.
And this was where at?
This was at Brass Monkey.
Okay.
On the west side.
Yeah.
And it pretty much like prepped me really well. And when around that time, after the karaoke contest was over, they were auditioning for this show called Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like debating if I should go or not, whatever. And I kind of ended up going like last minute. And I ended up making it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like flying out to LA for like 3 months or so, or like for consecutively. And then I ended up making it on the show to like semifinals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like super awesome, like just being able to experience, I don't know, just like a different environment and getting to know all these different people from all over the place. And that was super fun. And then once I kind of came back from that, that's when the bassist, Johnny from the Voyage, was kind of like recruited me through a mutual friend. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Also, at the time, I was playing bass for Mountain Vibes. And I just kind of kept myself busy doing that. And it just got to the point that I kind of had to decide if I wanted to continue playing bass or if I wanted to focus more on vocals. And
right.
I ended up just going with the Voyage because I wanted to do more vocals. And so then I did that for like a while. And then about 2 years ago, I kind of took a hiatus from it for a lot of reasons. And back in, when was it, Adam? Like I met you in October, maybe?
Yeah, I was on your podcast in October, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we started sort of collaborating then we did, what is it, Flatline? We invited her to do
I heard that
Flatline.
episode twice because you had shared it with me the first time.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason or other, I brain farted. I came across it again later. I was like, I don't think I've heard this one. And then sat through it a second time.
Yeah. I was on her show, and then at the time the band had dropped our full length, I think in October. And Tony had started working on new stuff, and we had this song, and we're like, oh, we should try and do something different. Have a guest vocalist. It wasn't even necessarily that we were going to have a female voice, but just somebody.
Add to the dynamic.
Yeah, and it just so happened that I had been on her show, and I'm like, hey, well, Bri's like super cool, and I've seen all of her past stuff, so she's an awesome singer. I'm like, why don't we hit her up? So we hit her up, and if you want to dig a little deeper into that story, you can go for it. But
yeah, so after Adam was on the podcast, and he had told me he had like seen me before with La Voyage. And so he, maybe like a week or two later, he was like, hey, we're looking for someone to be featured on Yolotli, or on this new Yolotli song. And I had been hearing their stuff, and I was like, damn, they're fucking badass.
They're tight.
Yeah, hell yeah. And so I was like, fuck yeah, like I'll like jump on a song. And so they sent me the song, and maybe like 2 weeks later we were like already in the studio, and it was like it was a really, really beautiful experience, I have to say. Initially I was like a little overwhelmed because like I didn't expect to see pretty much like all of the band except Lori. Everybody was in there. I was like, oh shit, okay, it's happening, but everything came together pretty much in that session, like very smoothly. We worked together so well. Adam and I talk about this all the time. Like you could even feel like this just flow of creativity in the room, and it was just beautiful. And Flatline kind of just like came together that day. Adam and I worked very well together, and I think Tony as well. And it was just a really good time, and Flatline happened, and I think we had a second session to just kind of like go over details of if we wanted to add something or fix something or whatever. And that second session was also like 3 hours, so we probably wrote the whole song in like 6 hours total. And then we started talking about how we were gonna like market the song, and just kind of like working together on making a plan. And at the time, like I was talking to Adam about like potentially getting back with La Voyage, and I just wasn't sure what to do or whatever. And then I guess, I don't know how long was it, maybe a month before Flatline came out, which was in like January.
Yeah.
Adam kind of like popped the question. I hate to say it that way, but he did. Well, he was just kind of like, what would you think of like potentially, you know, integrating yourself in Yolotli? Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, really? Like, what the fuck? Like, and to me, like, that was a total honor because I think Adam is such a wonderful singer. Like,
For
the
sure.
whole band just has incredible musicians, honestly. Like, everybody's incredibly talented in that band. And I'm not saying this just because I'm biased and I'm a part of it, but everybody really, really is, like, super talented. And I was like, oh shit, like, I think I'd be dumb to say no, honestly. Right. And I talked about it with my brother because he's kind of like my mentor too, like my advisor in a lot of things. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, really? Like, Yolotli? Like, he's like, I knew it they were gonna ask you. And I was like, shut up. And he's like, I think you should do it. And my brother is the one that kind of like musically raised me. He just like influenced me since I was very little with rock. That was like probably the first genre that I really, really got into, besides like the Mexican music and stuff. And my brother knows that like I love like heavy stuff as well. I was into the emo music. Sorry. My brother was like, "What the fuck? Like, Yolotli's badass. Like, yes. Like, say get back with it, you know." And I was like, "Okay." And so then at the time I just really needed to make decisions like whether I was gonna go back with Voyage, join Yolotli, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why don't I just do both? Yeah. It's definitely like my schedule is busy all the time, but I am very happy to say that like I do what I love, you know what I'm saying? And so that right there is like just very fulfilling for me, you know. And I think after taking a hiatus from music in general for like 2 years, and just being miserable at the job that I was at, and just being so unhappy in so many ways, like last year was kind of a huge like year of reflecting for me, and one of the biggest things was like I am just not happy, like, because I'm not doing what I love, you know. And that's why I wanted to get back into music, and I had mentioned that to Adam on the podcast, and so now I can finally say that, I mean, I'm super busy all the time, but I do what I love, you know, and and I think the best things come out of that when you genuinely and wholeheartedly do things with passion and with love, and I can finally say that, like, I'm happy, and, you know, I love it, and I love Yolotli, I love the dudes, I love, you know, just being active in the scene all the time, so.
And how comfortable are you with the guys already?
Pretty comfortable, I'd say.
It's funny because we had you know, before Bri joined the band, obviously there was a certain kind of vibe because it was all guys, you know.
For sure.
We could do the locker room talk and everything, you know, and not be worried about who's around or who's gonna hear stuff. So, and when she came in, we had a group chat is on Instagram. Well, we have 2 group chats that we have going. We have a text thread, and then we have our Instagram group as well. And of course, once we started, you know, doing band stuff with Bri involved, we added her to the text thread. But it took us a while to add her to the Instagram one because we post, you know, stupid memes and shit in there. And I think one day Lori added you to the group, and we were like, Lori, what the fuck did you do, man? It's all over now, you know. But little by little, we started seeing hints of her, you know, dark humor too. So we're like, oh man, it's on. Yeah. Like little by little, we kind of like we would all push each other's limits a little bit. So I mean,
no, it was like little did they know.
Yeah, Bri's super cool, man. I mean, we can joke with her, and she comes back with some shit sometimes too. We're like, damn, dude, this chick is like, she's just as fucked up as we are. So it's been really fucking easy bringing her in. You know, it's been super comfortable. Like she said, especially in the studio, her and I work extremely well together. As far as writing and stuff and bouncing, you know, we bounce lyrics off of each other and melodies and stuff. And this next, we're actually sitting on a finished new single for the band. And it was interesting because the way that we wrote that song, we actually went in not knowing with parts for the bridge of that song written for each other. Like, we actually, like, hey, this bridge is coming up. Like, we knew Tony was going to start hitting us up for vocal parts. And we had already worked up, verses and choruses. And the bridge part was coming up. And I was like, well, I have this melody idea. I was like, but I have it in mind for you. And then she's like, well, actually, I have the same idea, it's the same kind of thing going on for you. And I'm like, this is fucking weird, dude. Mm-hmm. So we went in with parts in mind for each other to try. Mm-hmm. And those were the parts that actually stayed being bridged. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, like I said, I mean, bringing her in has been, I mean, that initial session for Flatline, like she said, there was just a certain energy in the room. And at that point, Tony and I were like, it's not necessarily that we needed something new or that we needed new blood or that we needed her in the band, because we had existed up to that point as just, the five of us. And I always mention Paul as our honorary member, because Paul's the guy who does all of our lights live and everything, and he builds everything for us. But, up until that point, it was just us. And Bri came in, and the fucking energy was super awesome. The vibe was there, the product, the song was like one of our favorite things that we had done. So yeah, we started talking about it little by little, like, hey, well, what if we bring Bri in? And we had a show coming up, I think it was in December, and it was the Battle of the Bands. And we wanted to do that new song that we recorded with Bri, but we're like, fuck, well, what if we do it and we have her as a feature? Are they gonna give us shit for like having a guest singer, like, oh, they're using a ringer? Or so we said, well,
fucking cheat code.
Yeah, exactly. So we're like, well, let's just have her. Our set was like 20 minutes long, and I think initially it was Bri that came to me. She's like, hey, what if I just add a little bit of stuff to the set? And on her own, she kind of worked out some parts for the other songs that we were playing. So she's like, I'll just I'll be on stage with the all so they don't say shit. So we played that show. We ended up playing that show at the Lowbrow as a 6-piece on stage. She was on stage with us and everything. And actually, it was kind of funny because the first time we played Flatline live, we fucked it up like real bad. So
you guys equally fucked it up,
so
or somebody dropped the ball and
it was we have our backing tracks live, right. And somehow we got off to it. The backing track didn't line up with where we were in the song, so there was like samples going off at the wrong time and everything. But we soldiered through it. But that was initially our first performance with Bri, and Bri's like, dude, that was so fucking bad. Like, oh my god, like
I think it was on me though. Honestly, I'll take the fault for that one.
She was like, I'm never gonna fucking sing live again, and blah blah.
I hadn't been on stage in like 2 years.
Right.
And I was so nervous, and I have to take the fault for that one because I definitely think I dropped the ball.
I can imagine Tony.
Oh my god! I was like apologizing to Tony the whole night. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Because of all people, Tony's the one that's time.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I didn't think it was that bad. Like, the track was off a little bit, but I mean, the crowd ate it up.
Yeah.
And we watched the footage and stuff, and I'm like, it's really cool. It was a really cool feeling having her on stage as well, having somebody kind of back me up, because up until that point I was the main vocalist, and like, so it was kind of cool having someone else up there, sort of for the crowd to focus on and everything. So I thought the vibe was there. I thought it was super fun. So that's when we kind of started discussing the idea of like, well, what if we ask her to join full time?
Mm-hmm.
And I had already kind of whispered in her ear about it, and she's like, she didn't. I told her, you don't have to answer me, obviously, but like, I'm just gonna throw the idea out there. And she thought about it then, and I don't know. It was kind of funny because it was just, the whole idea was like, this feels really good. Like, this doesn't come along often. Like,
it doesn't feel
like we wanted to keep working with her and for her to be around, because we were enjoying having her around. The vibe was there. She was fucking cool. She joked around. So we're like, it's gonna kind of suck if we go back to how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up asking her, And yeah, I mean, sure enough, she said yeah, because I really wasn't sure because La Voyage is more of like I guess you would say like a funk disco kind of
dance
pop
party,
you know. So I wasn't sure if she was like, oh, she's gonna become this metal, you know, vixen right off the bat. Like I don't know if she was even gonna be down to consider the idea. But yeah, she was like, yeah, you know, I'm really having fun, so fuck it, let's roll with it. So we've been doing that since the end of last year, and we put out Flatline. We had a really, really good response to it. We've done a couple of shows with Bri. In my opinion, not enough. We have some coming up this year, but we're working on new stuff. Like I said, we're sitting on that single that we have in the chamber now. So I'm looking forward to getting that out. Mm-hmm. Of course, you guys have heard the reimagined IWTD that we did, the acoustic one with Bri, and I thought that was really good. So I'm really enjoying having her. You know, I think her voice is awesome. Mm-hmm. I think she pushes me to be a better singer. So, like, I mean, hearing her and the stuff that she pulls off, I'm like, fuck, I need to sound better. Because, you know, I did my thing, but I don't know if you are trained or anything, but she's got such control over her voice. So I'm like, fuck, I can't sound like shit, you know, anymore. So, I think she definitely pushes me to up my game, and in a way, I think we do it for each other. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's beneficial to the band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very
I mean,
beneficial.
It's cool having, obviously, you get a different vibe from a female voice. Mm-hmm. You can do more stuff with it. It's kind of funny, though, because since we got her in the band, she keeps telling all of us, she's like, I want to learn how to scream.
I do, but, like, I'm so scared. And I kind of started, like, looking into it, but maybe one day you guys will.
And so you just gotta get pissed off and just fucking let it out, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really cool since we had her. I mean, it's been fun. The shows have been well received and everything. So I mean, we have we can get into it a little bit more, but we do have some ongoing plans. So yeah, I mean, that's where we're at right now.
And I've told Tony for the longest time, ever since Yolotli formed, that. Because I've known Tony longer than I've known you. I've known Tony since we worked at Cemex Job together, going on well over 20 years, I guess, give or take.
Oh, wow.
But, and we jammed out in our early days, too. But every band that Tony's been in, they all sounded great because of Tony's talent, I think. His talent is there. His mind is crazy awesome. But there was always something missing. And then Yolotli happened. I'm like, you figured it out, bro. And then you add the other element, and it's like, yeah, it's only getting better, man.
You know, I joke with Bri and the guys too. Like, it's hard for any band to find a good vocalist. Mm-hmm. I'm like, fuck, we have two now. Like, we have no excuse now to go out and kick ass. We have two badass vocalists now. So, so yeah. But I think Tony's very happy about that too. Like having two singers at his disposal now.
Yeah.
So now he can work us extra hard because Tony's a workaholic. So.
And do you think there will be a track at some point where it's just you singing too, maybe, or is that?
I mean, I would definitely, like, one of the things that I had to talk with Bri about when she first came into the mix is like, dude, like, we're not bringing you on as like you're not gonna back me up.
No.
Like, I want this to be an equal thing. Like, up until that point, I was a lead singer, but I'm like, we're both the lead singer now. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're gonna do harmonies or no. Like the way we recorded Flatline is sort of still felt like a feature. Mm-hmm. But once we figured out that she was gonna be full time, like the next stuff that we did, this next single is gonna be called Reflection. The way we did it was pretty much, it sounds like there's one singer. I mean, it's two voices, but we're writing together, you know, we're kind of weaving in and out of each other. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely consider the idea of leaving like an entire song to her. So, I mean, I would definitely give her that opportunity to try it, you know, and just lead a whole song on her own. So
I think that's what I like definitely appreciated, was that they really did want to give me like a place as a lead vocalist and not a backup vocalist. Because before, when I guess they asked me if I wanted to join, I kind of asked every single band member, like, how do you feel about it? I want to know what you think. Like, are you okay with this? Is it like, because again, like, I was like, maybe it's just Adam's idea. Maybe just Adam is the only one that wants me on here. And so I did ask everybody, like, how they felt about it. And everybody was like, give me their spiel on, like, why they did want me on. But Drew was, like, actually surprised me and was like, yeah, but you need to know that we don't want you just, like, as a backup vocalist. Like, you're also going to be a lead vocalist, and I need you to know this, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, that really took me by surprise, and I really appreciated that, they were willing to give me, like, my place. You know what I'm saying? Not just, like, oh, she's just, like, like a backup singer,
right?
Backup, vocalist. So I was like, damn, like, okay, like, I really appreciate that, because especially when you're jumping in on a project, like, not everybody will do that. Like, maybe they'll just add you as, like, a, I don't know, feature, or just gonna have you there or whatever. So I was like, oh shit, okay, like, yeah, they really do, I guess, like, appreciate me for who I am, and I totally love that, and I totally respected that as well, of course. So
yeah, when I first heard about this through Anthony and Adam, outside of the podcast and here, and then when you were here with Drew, when Drew said the story about how you came to be with the band, you could sense his excitement for sure also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, even like when we went back, obviously because we had a full, full library of material already written, when we went back and worked on our stuff to put Bri in live to include, like, her and I sat down and we were working on parts, and she's like, well, what part should I do? I'm like, dude, take a whole verse, take a whole chorus. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, dude, I'm not about, like, obviously I am to a certain point about being the guy, being seen, because that's the whole point of being a singer.
That's how we do this.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, we're asking you to be a part of it. I'm like, I want this to be as much yours as it is mine. So, like, we went back to those songs, like, take this verse, take this chorus, or, like, we added some harmonies and stuff too, because I'm like, we need to take full advantage of having two voices. So, but yeah, even when we went back, I'm like, no, dude, you have to have, like, your own verse and your own parts.
Well, there's that, and then you're picturing the flow in a certain way whenever you're writing to it, and then here she comes with a second.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
She comes in with a different flow that she's imagining, and you guys can either incorporate that or go, oh shit, light bulb. That sounds pretty intense, pretty neat. And
that's another thing that, like, they've given me the ability to just have creative freedom. And of course, like, I don't want to, like, overstep on Adam's songs and what he's written, because I know that, when you write a song, they have meaning to you. And for me, I always say, like, especially with Ghost, I'm like, that's Adam's song. Like, I really don't want to touch that song too much, even though I think I just mostly do, like, backups on that
think
song.
on Ghost, you do a
like
verse. You do a verse.
On the acoustic version?
Yeah. No, on the live.
Oh, okay.
Ghost, yeah.
But even then, I was just kind of like, I felt kind of like,
like you were overstepping?
Yeah. But Adam has been so sweet and just, like, letting me do whatever.
No, yeah. Like, for me, I'm not, like, on certain songs, I'm not just going to have you, like, standing on stage. And it's beneficial to me, too, because I don't have to sing the whole fucking song,
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be able to catch my breath in certain parts, or, there's a lot of our songs, obviously, that I go from screaming to singing, so that's not exactly the easiest thing to do either. So if I get, a couple of moments of breather where she can carry a part, that works for me too. But I'm like, I don't want to just have you, standing there on stage, not doing anything. So I'm like, sing this part for sure. Take the whole verse, take, part of the chorus. So I wanted it to I wanted to feel like she'd been a part of the band from the start. Not like she's an afterthought.
Right.
So when we went back, obviously, we're like, no, dude, do this part, do that part. So, and live has been, the shows that we have done with her, they've been a blast, man. It's been super cool. I think it's an advantage of having both of us. Like, it doesn't feel gimmicky. but it's cool because both of us can kind of hype up the crowd and work the crowd, and having somebody else to help me do that's great because I don't have a problem doing it, but the rest of the guys they have their instruments, they're behind their instruments, or if they want to they can walk back to the corner or something. So I'm always the guy like, hey, you handle that shit. So having somebody to back me up to do that stuff cool is a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So,
I was talking to Tony recently about that last show you guys did without him, with everything he's going through at the moment. And he felt the same way about Lori. He was like, yeah, Lori, he's got the talent to carry the show.
Yeah, that was a challenge because, like you said, Tony had some family things going on, and we had a show that we had committed to in Cruces. It was actually their radio festival, Crux Fest. And we asked him like, hey dude, should I pull out of this show? I know you have stuff going on. He's like, no, please, you guys, please do it. Please live up to the commitment. And yeah, at that point, Laurie had to carry all the guitar stuff. So he really stepped up to the plate for that one. We have our samples and stuff, but definitely live, it makes a difference having two guitar players. But we worked it out to where he could carry the whole set, and that was it was unfortunate Tony was not with us, but that was a really good show. Cruces they were really receptive to us.
Right.
The college crowd surprisingly liked us a lot. We got a lot of support, there in person and after the fact on social media and everything. So that was a really fun show. And that was, like I said, the live shows that we've done together, that was a really cool feeling show to have Bri in, and just the vibe and everything was totally there at that show for sure.
So much fun.
Yeah. So it's been good, man.
Yeah. I heard from you that it went great after the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't in town that weekend. I was stuck at work, and I had asked you the day after or 2 days after.
Yeah.
You said it went great, and when I was talking to Tony this a couple days ago, it was good to hear from him too that he was proud of how you guys did too.
Yeah. No, it was really good, man. And we have I have to give props to our guy Paul because
oh my god,
live, he really his light setup and everything that he builds and engineers for us really sets
and
us
who the fuck
apart.
else in El Paso has that? Nobody, bro.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people doing it on the level that we do. So we're very lucky to have him in our arsenal.
Oh my gosh,
for sure.
Paul is he's a mad genius too.
He's awesome.
He's great.
So and we sometimes we'll get to the jam space and he'll just bring in new stuff like, what is this? Like, oh, it's just some other stuff that I picked up.
He's experimenting.
Like, dude, yeah. And it actually we can touch upon that a bit too, because probably Bri's used to being the singer and just arriving to her shows and walking on stage, but we're putting her to work.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what you guys really want to be.
She's carrying that big old why.
Because up until now, up until we had her, it was Paul and I that would set everything up. The rest of the guys will pitch in, but obviously they have to worry about getting their shit up and running first.
Right.
And I would help him, lay out the stage and everything. So no, we got there and I'm like, hey, Bri, you ready to go or what? So, but yeah, I mean, I can't say a bad thing about her because she was throwing up lights and like, hey, where does this go? Where does that go? So she was a big help too. So she's not a little.
Oh yeah, man.
She may look like a little princess, but she's a tough girl. So
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'm like I work out.
Yeah. So no, she can kick my ass, dude. So, for sure. So yeah, she's done good, man. So yeah.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I did listen to several of the songs from Le Voyage prior to us recording here today, and you said earlier it's like a party funk dance vibe, pop vibe. I liked it too, man. The bass sounds really great.
Yeah.
What I love about it, after a few listens, I'm like, wow, this is from El Paso. This is music that's out of our hometown. That's pretty neat. It's pretty intense too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And yes, your vocals got me for sure, and then the bass, I'm like, wow, that's good bass right there.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny's super talented, and he loves his bass. But yeah, that was also like something new for me initially when I first joined Le Voyage. because like I had never really thought about like doing funk or like disco or anything like that. But after like I joined, I kind of like fell in love with it, and I just realized that like, well, hey, I've been kind of like listening to this like already. Like I love like Villanova and stuff like that, and I learned about Jamiroquai later on, and so yeah, I've been my music taste is like all over the place, but it's definitely just like expanded my knowledge in just funk and all these different genres. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun working with them as well, and I'm like again like I'm very happy to be in like both types of genres that I really like, which is like more pop funk, and then there's like my rock side that I get to like really really share with Yolotli. So it's super cool. But yeah, we just released a single on Thursday. So that's also like in the works of Blood Fire is also in the works right now. We're like looking at releasing an EP here soon. So yeah, looks like this year's gonna be pretty busy, and yeah, Yolotli's also working on new music and probably playing out of town. I don't know if I should say that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can openly, if there's anybody out there who wants to take us out to different cities. That's one of our plans this year is we want to get out of El Paso. Because all last year, we played a fair amount of shows last year. Like I said a little bit earlier, I don't feel like we've played enough shows yet with Bri. But we have a few coming up this year in El Paso. We have some really cool ones actually. We're gonna be playing. I forget the dates, but we're gonna be playing actually a halftime for the Roller Girls.
Oh, right on.
In September.
Yeah, I believe that's September 22nd, and then in July we're gonna be supporting a touring band that's coming through called Sinshrift. They're a super good band. You guys check them out on wherever you get your music. They're a super good band. I believe they're out of Arizona. They're coming through, and they approached me to open. So we're going to be on that show. And then in August, there's going to be a Limp Bizkit tribute band that's going to play the Rock House. So we're going to be playing on that bill. So we have some pretty cool stuff going on. But we also have, like I said, we have a single we're sitting on. Probably gonna aim to put a new music video together, because having Bri, I mean, we haven't done a lot of visual stuff featuring Bri yet. We did, of course, Flatline. I would like to put another video out there featuring her. We want to do new photos and stuff like that. So probably we'll aim to do another video for our next single. And yeah, just keep working on new music. Tony is always writing, man. Even when we want him to stop, he's still writing music. So yeah, we'll
play catch up with him.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be working on new stuff. And I'm all for that because, like I said, I'm looking forward to Bri more so. Moving forward and putting her stamp
and
on the band and
establishing that
sound.
image with her included.
Yeah, so the more that we can put out there with her, I'm definitely happy about. So, but yeah, one of the things we really want to try and do this year is get out of El Paso. There's a few bands out of here doing it. There's a couple of bands I've seen that are doing small, week-long tours, stuff like that.
So Honey and Verosa, right?
So Honey and Verosa's
they sound really good.
Yeah, they're gonna do a summer run. They're good friends of ours. So, but yeah, that's one of the things we really, really want to do is get out of here because we feel like our show, I think we feel is something special. Just the energy that we have and the lights and everything. So we want to take it somewhere else and see what people think of it.
Yeah, my boy Ryan's drum teacher, Brian Carvajal, with his band, Collide the Gemini.
Yeah.
I think they did some shows.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of out-of-town stuff
pretty
too.
Good too.
Yeah, so it's cool to see a lot of bands, and a lot of the time I'm like, fuck, dude, everybody's doing it. We got to get out of here. So I definitely want to get us out of El Paso. So that's definitely a big priority
and
for us.
Soon enough, I'll be able to attend more shows, bro. I'm gonna be home more often. So
looking forward to having you home more often.
More shows, bro.
And we'll be able to do a little more One Star Day stuff too, for sure. So I'm looking forward to getting on that again.
Without divulging too much, I'm gonna be helping Tony out a lot also.
Yeah. But yeah, we won't divulge too much, but I think both you and I sort of have the idea of lifting up his studio a little bit. So we'll definitely be we'll have some stuff coming as far as that goes too pretty soon this year. Yeah, for sure.
And I want to touch base on something else. I mean, we can't just
Uh-oh.
No, nothing bad, but we can't just brush up on LA. You were there for 3 months. Like what'll happen in those 3 months that you were on that TV show?
Oh.
Like what was your day-to-day like? Or we can't just say you were in LA for 3 months on a TV show and not.
Well, I was going I went for like 3 months, but I would go for like a few days at a time. But so God. So pretty much I would just go there and like just immediately like get to work. We would do kind of like a rehearsal a little bit, and then we would do the show. And I guess every time it's really funny because the show it's show business. You have to like add to it however you can or whatever. And I guess at the time like one of the judges was kind of like the first time I auditioned, he like made a comment like, oh, I love like when women have like electric guitars in front of them, right? And so the show kind of like grabbed onto like that and made me kind of like flirt with a judge or whatever. So yeah, and then they're kind of like comedic about it. And so yeah, I got to just really like explore LA and explore like the nightlife out there, which was really fun. And I just met like so many different people in all different types of like industries, and just a lot of opportunities out there for sure. But yeah, then when I got to like the semifinals, it gets a lot more competitive, but people are still like very, very friendly about it and so supportive. It was very sweet. But I initially auditioned with this song from Camila Fernandez, and she did like a jazz reggae song called Mio, and that's what I auditioned with. Oh yeah, and so the other thing is that like they kind of make you stick to like a certain image. So I was like the alternative girl that brought in like alternative music and stuff that you didn't hear. So the second song I brought in was a song from Mon Laferte. And then after that, I brought in, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Chamanas.
No.
Yeah.
So the Chamanas were a local band from here. And the producer, actually, I got to work with him after. His name is Manuel Calderon, and vocalist was Paulina Reza. They had this band called the Chamanas. They were super huge at some point.
I think they were nominated for a Latin Grammy, right?
Yeah, they were nominated for a
They
Latin
did a
Grammy.
lot. Yeah.
They did like a song, one of Portugal the Man's songs in like Spanish. And at the time, like I was obsessed with the Chamanas, and so they were pretty much like, the producers would pretty much be like, hey, like we need you to send us like 2-3 songs that you're thinking about singing. And that was every single time like that I would go. And then pretty much like they would pick the song. So I sent them a Chamana song and then I don't know, like a couple others. So they picked the Chamana song. And that's the one that I ended up taking to semifinals. And then yeah, I mean, I didn't make it past that, but it's okay. Like, it was still a super, super good time. And it's mostly because, like, I guess the crowd, the audience of that show is, like, mostly into, like, corridos and bandas and ranchero music. And I love all music, too. But, yeah, I just wasn't, like, their cup of tea, and that's fine. I mean, I didn't even expect to be on the show, from the beginning.
Or to make it as far as you did, the semifinals.
Yeah, for sure. But it was really interesting because when you audition for talent shows here, like you have to go through like several filters to get to like the point where like you meet the judges.
Right.
And over there it was like they picked me here, and then I immediately just went with the judges, like straight like to the judges.
That's crazy.
I was like, oh shit, like.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't expect to meet you guys already, But it was a lot of fun, and then I came back and just kind of things just started like happening and yeah, so but yeah, I think the El Paso music scene is full of like talented people for sure. Like there's so much talent out here, and I always say that.
Yeah, I'm saying that especially now. It seems a lot richer.
Yeah, for sure. But so like I'm just like happy to be a part of this and happy to be involved, and yeah, I have hella love for El Paso for sure.
And so with your mom being a musician also, or a vocalist also, do you often get feedback from her? Or?
Oh yeah, all the time. My brother and my mom are like my go-tos when it comes to like my music and music that I'm working on and working with, and pretty much I kind of get everything pre-approved with my brother. And he'll tell me, I mean, he won't be nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, he won't be nice about things, and I mean, damn, he'll shut me down real quick if he needs to. But yeah, they're so supportive about everything. Initially, my mom was like, "What the fuck? You're gonna join a metal band?" But like, I guess she didn't really know too much of that side. I mean, she knows that I've always been like kind of, I don't know, had this like grungier side to me, but my mom is like very girly, you know. She's always the one that like would buy me the skirts and the dresses, and I would be like, "Can I wear the ripped jeans instead and Converse?" Like, she'd get mad at me, but yeah. So, but she actually like really likes Yolotli. She's like, "Holy shit! Like, you're fucking out there with like the big ones now," and so I'm just like, yeah.
She probably had to listen to the dynamic first to have it make sense to her.
Yeah.
Once your vocals come into play. Yeah,
for sure. And my mom is mostly a Spanish speaker, so she's always like, "What does the song say? Can you translate it for me?" So I'm always like out there translating my songs for my mom. But yeah, like she's always been super supportive. Of course, she always wanted me to take the direction of like singing like ranchero music and all of that, which I do have a lot of love for. I wish I knew more songs, but with my mom, like I grew up listening to, I don't know if you guys know Rocío Dúrcal, a lot of like Juan Gabriel, of course, and just all of that. So my whole family's always been like, "Why didn't you take that route? But I mean, I've always been, again, like a rocker at heart since I was really little, and yeah, I'm just kind of really happy to be fulfilling that side of me. So
the Crux show, your mom was there, right?
Yeah,
her mom's been to one of our shows actually, so
and she took all her friends too.
Yeah.
She was so sweet.
Yeah, like at the end of the show we were done, and they had us like all in the front for her to take a picture. I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool," you know. Yeah, so she was there. She's already supported us. So
did you have them go dressed in black or?
No. Maybe I'll get her to that at some point, but yeah, she was so sweet, she was so supportive, and her friends were like dancing even like at some point, and she's like, "Well, nobody around us was dancing, so we started dancing." And I was like, "You do you, girl." Like,
you gotta establish the vibe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, but yeah, they're super sweet. Yeah, so again, they're just super supportive in general, and they're the ones that like have really mostly like vocally trained me. I took maybe like 2 classes with this wonderful singing coach maybe like a couple years back, because I was like, there's always room for improvement, you know. Her name is Diana Esparza, and she's actually like she's a professor at UTEP. And her husband is a musician here too. But I took a couple classes with her during the pandemic, maybe, or like it was like towards the end. Super knowledgeable. Of course, she's a professor. But mostly my mom and my brother have like trained me, and again, like they don't go easy on me. They don't butter things up. They're just like, "You're screaming here," like, or like, "You need to tone it down," or like, "I didn't like that," or "That's not your range," or whatever. Like, they'll always put me in my place, and so I've learned a lot from them and from my mom for sure. She's been in the game for a really long time, and she's done a lot, I'd like to think. So thanks to that, like, and And also, in high school, I've always been involved in music. Like, I picked up a guitar when I was like 11 or 12 or something. I definitely don't consider myself a guitar player at all. Like, I'm not. I'll say that right now. I'm probably a poser, but I've always been like involved musically, like just taking classes with whoever. And then in high school, I was in guitar class. Maybe I was in band in high school. I played percussion, and then I also took guitar class. But when my guitar teacher found out that I could sing, he used me as a vocalist instead. So we would compete, and that's when I kind of like that class opened up my world to jazz music. And so I don't know if you guys maybe have heard of him. His name is Stefan Shuga, but he's an incredible guitarist. And he does this genre called like jazzmenko. And he's incredible, and I learned a little bit about production in that class as well, because like towards the end of the year we would always do these, like, what is it called, like it was like a showcase of original music, and that would be like our final, pretty much. Like, you have to write a song, or you have to be involved in this showcase somehow, and then we would have the show, and then we would actually sell CDs, and it was super cool because, again, like, I got to dabble a little bit into the production aspect of things, and then also, of course, like writing, and yeah, so pretty much just like always active with music. But with Shuga, like, he made me compete singing jazz music. And I did like fusion, really. It was like mostly like jazz Spanish fusion. So we did like My Funny Valentine, but very like it was like jazzy, but I also like incorporated like Spanish in that in that song. So yeah, I've been very lucky to be surrounded by like just really good musicians and artists, and yeah, just super grateful for all of that. Even the bad experiences, even like when my band Sirena's Waves didn't work out, like I learned a lot from that as well. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here with Yolotli now, and yeah.
And do you think you'll ever, with you said your brother has an ear for production too, and then with your mom singing, do you think you'll ever, outside of this with Yolotli and the Voyage, you'll probably record a song with your mom? I think that'd be a great thing to do.
That'd be so sweet. My mom would love to, probably. No, I don't think so. Actually, I've never really thought about that. But it would maybe be kind of cool. But my mom tries to throw me on her shows whenever she can. Like, she'll be like, please, like, I need a backup vocalist. Like, please like, do these harmonies with me. And that's another thing. My mom has always, like, used me as, like, I don't want to say, like, always, but yeah, I've always done, like, backup vocals for her sometimes. Or, so that kind of, like, trained me in some way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I tried to get my brother into production, and I was like, dude, I'll pay for whatever it is that you want to use. But he was just like, no. I'm like, and now that he's gonna be a dad, he's like, definitely not. Like, but yeah, I was like, we could have been like the Mexican Billie Eilish and Finn, but you fumbled on that one, bro. It's cool though.
Yeah, I've got my old laptop from when I was way younger. I'm pretty sure it might still work. I don't know. Not my laptop, my old PC, a desktop computer, and I've got myself playing guitar and my mom singing "Crazy" by Patsy Cline. To see if it works, it might be a bit of a stretch, but I want to re-record that with her for sure someday.
That's cool.
Because she sings too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is always like, yeah, just trying to, well, just get me on whatever song she wants me to learn or whatever. But yeah, she's super sweet, and I'm super glad she's still singing. Honestly, she'll still do it
So she's still doing shows then, or?
Yeah, she hasn't done one in a while, but like yeah, she'll have shows from time to time, and sometimes she's hired to sing at parties like privately. So she'll mostly do that now. But I'll definitely let you guys know if you guys are into that, like whenever you guys.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely overdue to hear her. I don't think I've heard her sing yet.
Oh my god, my mom is incredible, and I'm not just saying that because I'm her daughter, but like, and it's funny because people are always like, "Oh my god, you're so lucky you get to hear your mom sing every day," and I'm just, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm like, it's another Tuesday for me.
You're like, I've literally heard her sing every day,
my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm like, she would actually like wake us up on Saturday mornings singing and be like, what are you doing? Limpiar, and I'd be like, you know, and then she'd be singing like, you know, cleaning the house, and I'm just like, yeah, it's like whatever. But when I see her in her shows, you know, I totally have like this different appreciation for her because, I mean, putting a show on just takes so much work. And she definitely does like the whole outfits and outfit change, and nice. She'll sing with mariachi sometimes, and my brother is always her sound guy. So now that I've definitely been just so much more involved with live performances, I have just taken a different appreciation for it at this point. When I was little, I was just like, I want to go home. Yeah, I don't even want to be here. And then it was funny. My mom would always make us hustle, like. She would make my brother like sell CDs, and so my brother would go around like the table selling CDs, and I would tell my mom like, hey, well, can I sell CDs too? And she'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like, and then when I told my mom when I was little, I told her, because they would ask me like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, and I'd be like, I want to be a singer, and I'm very happy that I get to say that that's what I am and that's what I do, you know. But my mom is the one that really pushed me to be on stage, and I used to be really shy. I know it may not seem like it, but like I used to be really, really shy. And one time I think my mom was singing at a restaurant, and she was like, she just like hands me the mic, and she's like, it's your turn, you're gonna sing now. And I was like, I was probably like 8. I was so little. And I was like, what the what do you mean? And then she's like, come on, like, you want to be a singer? You have to sing in front of people. And I was like, oh my god. And I think that was probably like my first like public performance. She made me sing at a restaurant. Actually, no. And then I've always been like in the talent shows, like, you know, at school or whatever. But like public like that, like she really like broke me into, you know, performing. And yeah, she would always just tell me like, if you want to be a singer, you have to sing on the spot whenever people ask you to. Like, you can't be shy about this. Like, there's no time for that. She's like, how are you going to be a singer and then not sing in front of a crowd, you know? So she really pushed me to performing live. And yeah, people just always says to me like, you're so confident on stage, and I'm just like, I guess I've never really like noticed it. Because at this point it's just kind of like, all right, it's go time. Like, it's show time. Let's do this. Especially like for this show, I really don't even know how the fuck it happened, because I was like shaking backstage, and I'm just like, oh shit, like, and people would like ask me like, do you didn't get nervous like singing in front of like these judges? And I'd be like, fuck yes, of course I'm nervous. Like, but you have to, yeah, it's just like you just have to like get in the zone. And for me, it's mostly like, you know, the judges are just people too, you know, and like the audience are just people too. And if you fuck up, you fuck up. And I fuck up all the time. yeah. Truthfully, but
it's how you recover from it.
Yeah, also for sure. But it's also like, you know, you have to present yourself. It's how you present yourself, and it's also just kind of like being confident about what it is that who you are and what you're showcasing. I think it just goes like a long way.
Oh, confidence for sure will push you through a lot of...
Yeah, for sure. So just be confident, you know, and I think that like when I was in the show, I was super nervous, but at that point I was just like, you know what, I'm here for a reason, and I'm here to show them like who I am and what I can do. and I think that like that kind of just really helped me, and again just kind of reminding myself at the end of the day I'm like they're humans too, and that's, and they may be famous or whatever, but at the end of the day like they would understand too if I mess up, and I just try to like see it as like they're nothing special, you know.
They're not. It's like the old saying. Without, I don't mean to be crude, but they shit the same way we do.
Yeah.
There's that saying that I've heard 1,000 times. So
it's kind of her, you know, Bri talking about all that kind of takes me back to when we first brought her in to do Flatline. You know, we all met up in the studio, and like she said, our whole fucking band showed up. Like, I had been recording music for Yolotli for like 2 years, and these fuckers never showed up for a session for me. But the night that Bri was gonna show up and track, the whole fucking band was there, right? But when she came in, of course, we said hello and everything, and me and Tony were sort of like, so did you work on anything?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, we're like,
so quick.
it's all eyes on you.
Yeah, we were like, did you work anything? Did you write anything? She's like, yeah, actually I did. I was like, okay, cool. And then I don't know if it was me or Tony, but we were like, let's hear it. So she's like just do it. And we're like, yeah, just do it. So in a way, we're I mean, I think at that point we were just
I could imagine Tony saying it real stern.
We were just kind of testing her out to see like, all right, well, let's see if she's gonna do this shit.
I think you ended up singing first, no, Adam?
Yeah, because Tony asked me like, well, do you have anything for? I'm like, yeah, I have a chorus. So I went and actually tracked like a raw version of the chorus.
Right.
She's like, well, I have something too, and then she tracked it too. So we kind of compared the two, and
Adam, you're fired.
Yeah, pretty much, much. Yeah, no, we ended up going with Bri's chorus, but like literally when she walked in, we were like, all right, dude, sing,
right?
Show us, sing, and it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't an ego thing, but it was like, all right, dude, I want to see, like, I have a whole idea of her built up in my head, like I know she can do this shit, so I'm gonna see how quick she's gonna click into work mode. And it was instant, man. Like she sang out loud, like there in the middle of all of us, and she's like, yeah, I have this, and she sang, and we were like, all right, cool, go track it. So, but since then, I don't know, I think we kind of set a precedent, like, or I don't know if I had a standard in my head for her, and she by far she surpassed it. But I was like, all right, dude, do you want to walk in? So let's see it, let's prove it. So the way that she's talking about the confidence and the experience and everything. I'm like, all right, let's put her on the spot and see what she can do. But sure enough, you know, that night we recorded the whole fucking song and everything, and but yeah, I could definitely see it in her since then. Like she's at a level that made it very easy to bring her into the band, because the way that she works and everything is like that experience and all of that just shines through. Like she knows what she's doing. When
you were talking about how your mom pushed you in at 8 years old to sing right away, I was also thinking about what you and Drew were talking about, how with you listening to your brothers and starting very young too, it's just...
Yeah, I mean...
It's in your blood at this point.
Yeah, we started off, obviously my dad was a drummer in the house, and then my brothers, you know, ended up doing it as I grew up as a kid too. So they were my idols. I wanted to do what they did. So I always grew up sort of around it, and when I got old enough, you know, I was in bands with my friends and everything, and ended up working my way into playing with my brothers. But me as well, me and Bri have both talked about this. Like I'm sort of I don't know if you would believe it or not, but I have and we were talking about this before we were recording the podcast. I think I have like a touch of social anxiety. Like I don't really, it's twisted because I don't really like being in the spotlight, but I like feeling the spotlight, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
Like it makes total sense.
Like on show days, I'll still get nervous. And it also depends on, like, say if we have a Saturday show, it'll get to me, like I'll think about it all day long, like, oh, we have a show later. You know, I'll start freaking myself out and getting in my own head. Sometimes we have shows like on a Thursday night, Friday night. You don't have time to do it because obviously you go to work, and then you're like, fuck, in an hour I have to go show up at the jam room and pack up and go play the show. But like when I have entire days to do it, I kind of get it in my own head, like, oh man, or even like before the moment before we walk out on stage, I'll get nervous too, and I'll still have to kind of build myself up. So, but I think if you get to the point where you lose that feeling, I don't know, maybe you should get out, because I think you should get nervous.
Yeah.
I think you should be afraid to do it. If you get to the point where it's just like, you know, going into neutral or like auto drive, I think you should.
Yeah, bro. I get that social anxiety with everything, but in the same token, it doesn't come across as that way, because I walk around, dude. I walk around proud no matter what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But inside, I'm thinking people are expecting a fucking joke out of me.
Yeah.
Or with the music, people are expecting me to talk about music or do something with my music.
Yeah.
Or even with a podcast, bro. Like we're saying, we like the limelight. Whatever the case is, we like the attention. We're doing this for attention to some extent too. You know?
Of course, yeah.
I fucking take pride, bro. With I've had several people say, man, when I found out Rene was doing a podcast, all I could think was, of course he fucking is, you know, because they expect shit like this from me, you know. And it's But I am socially awkward. Whereas before, when I was younger, I think Rudy, my brother, and I, roles reversed.
Yeah.
He used to be shy as fuck, and I wasn't, bro.
Yeah.
And then, am I shy now? Yes and no. I think I'm toned down a lot compared to how I used to be.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I think, you know, I don't know, the comfort of being in these kinds of roles, I think maybe comes with a little bit of experience and age too, you know. I know that, you know, ever since we've been friends, you and I have been able to
very open
about whatever. So for you to come into a role like this, I think to me at least, it makes perfect sense. Like I can talk to you about whatever, you know, we text and like whatever dumb shit or life stuff, or for you to do something like this makes sense to me.
I've told you shit I don't tell my best friends, and it's
so for me it's like, well, yeah, that's what Rene does. He talks and he does music. I'm like, it's a perfect role for him. But yeah, for me too, like my wife has even told me before too, she's like, I don't know how you do it, like how you just walk up there and you perform. And I'm like, I don't really know how I work my way up to it, but I guess in a way, once you walk out, I think you kind of go into that mode.
Yeah.
Because I can definitely get into my own head and be like, fuck, what if I fuck up, or what if I forget lyrics, or, you know, but as soon as like the first note hits, I don't know if it's like an alter ego thing or you know, you just kind of click into a different mode and you're able to do it. So
this is what we do, bro. And it's I always go back to what I went to art school after high school, right? And one of my buddies, Brad Jerger, once we left art school, and we stayed in touch on social media and on phones or whatever too, right? Text messages. Whenever I do my artwork, and I would undersell myself, you know, and he would get on my ass like, dude, don't fucking undersell your artwork, bro. Fucking charge what it's worth. Remember, not everybody does this. If this was easy, everybody would fucking be doing this shit. Yeah. It goes for our art, our fucking music, whatever the fuck we do, you know.
Yeah. And it's tough. I mean, finding that balance is tough too, because just because you love what you do doesn't mean people are always going to want to pay for it. They're
not always going to be receptive either.
So sometimes you have to accept the fact that people might not value it as much as you personally
This fucking
do.
Nickelback art?
Yeah.
I fucking hate Nickelback.
I mean, to Chad Kroeger, it's definitely art.
For sure,
you know?
bro.
So he's in one way or another, he's putting his heart into what he does, but some people may not see it that way. You gotta respect him for putting himself out there, even if you fucking hate Nickelback. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's art's definitely subjective. You know, we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we started recording. Like looking at a piece of art, somebody might see something in it that you don't like. Oh, this totally speaks to me, and then you know we may see it and be like, yeah, my dog could do a better job, you know, with paint on his paws than this. So same can go with music or you know whatever you do. Like I was in the photography game for many years too, and I've slowed down.
Did you ever see? It's blocked right now, but one of your pictures is back there.
Oh no shit!
The Impala on the metal tin. Cool. Yeah.
And you know, same for me goes like what I was doing. I loved it wholeheartedly, but my dream was always to do that as a career too. But it was really fucking hard to make that into reality. You know, I got to get some stuff published and everything, but I always wanted to like do it full time. I never could. So I don't know if maybe I wasn't good enough or what, but I guess it's just finding that balance of knowing that what you love doing may not, bring you fame and fortune, but I feel very fortunate to still be doing it.
So my old foreman, bro, it's just, even if you do make it with photography, it's a hard living, bro. Because my old foreman, when I first hired on with the railroad, Bob Idy, he would talk to me about one of his friends that was on the track department for the railroad, a welder. This guy did, I can't remember the name because it's been forever, but this guy did a bunch of photographs for Lowrider magazine.
Yeah.
It was a Hispanic cat from California.
Yeah.
And he would tell me about this guy all the time because, like, I guess he could relate whatever he saw in me with his friends. He's like, dude, this guy would take photographs and a bunch of stuff of cars for Lowrider magazine, and his name was out there.
Yeah.
But he was still working for the railroad.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and, there was times, too, where I knew, obviously what sells.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot of guys out there doing the same thing that I was doing, but they would feature females and next to nothing, next to the cars and stuff. And when I shot, I did do pinup models. I did like the chola stuff, but I didn't push it that far. So I knew if I did go in that direction, that I probably could have gotten a lot more attention, as a photographer than I did. But I don't know, that wasn't my thing.
I've got an idea for you, bro.
What's that?
Let's take pictures of Adrian. Pin up Adrian.
You have a two-piece lying around somewhere? Yeah.
Amazon, bro. Find anything on there.
But yeah, no, it's funny, and at some point we have our vision of what we want to do, our dreams. Like when I was a teenager, I 100% I was gonna be a rock star. Like I'm not gonna focus on anything else, and I did. I put a lot of energy into music, but I don't know. It's funny. That's how things work. I'm still at it. I'm still trying. So maybe I'll still get that opportunity. So who knows?
And with my artwork, when Diego was here last time, like I commend him for dedicating himself completely to art, bro. Because I couldn't do it. Like that's my artwork right there.
Yeah.
That Ninja Turtle up there. That's my work, right? And with me, I can draw all the time, but I have to be in the fucking mood. And it seems like Diego's always in the zone to do it, I wish I had that. I draw often, but not often enough to where I want to put shit out there.
Yeah.
I can't.
And, it's tough because you have to balance that passion, that art with life, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have responsibilities, and, like, Bri and I talk, and we're like, fuck, dude. Like, I wish we could just drop everything and just do music 24 hours a day. Like, I wish I was just in a studio somewhere writing or singing but, I mean, it's tough. You have bills to pay. You have, our guys have families and stuff. So it's a tough thing to balance out. So, I mean, the dream, obviously, is to provide for everybody in your family by doing what you love. But it doesn't always work out that way. That's why it's tough. And that's why I admire people who do keep whatever they love to do going, even if it's not what they provide with, because that shows that you really love doing it. If you find a way to do it still, that means it really, really means something to you.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Once I get more free time, I'm actually going to dedicate more to my artwork for sure, and music, of course.
Yeah.
And how we're talking about doing stuff with Tony more often than before.
Yeah.
It's all going to come to light a lot more, I think.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, you've invested this better part of your life, in your kids. So, and that's awesome because it obviously shows, Ryan's doing the music stuff and the drum stuff. So,
and that's what I was thinking with what you were saying, was that with what your mom was doing for you.
Yeah.
This is pretty much, I'm in your mom's shoes, and you're what my boy's going to become at some point. He's in drums. He does want to take vocal lessons at some point too. He dabbles with guitar now. From the point he was a baby, I bought him his first guitar when he was 3 years old, I think. And I tried to force feed him guitars, and he wasn't fucking having it.
You picked the drums.
No, we'd go to Guitar Center, and it was the drums, primarily the drums. We go to Guitar Center, it's primarily the drums or the keyboard.
Yeah.
And he wants to learn everything right now, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I was thinking about that when you were talking about your mom and how she was pushing you to do vocals too, and that's going to be me and my boy.
What did your mom think of our show? I don't think I ever actually asked you.
Oh yeah,
She thought it sucked. It was terrible. It was garbage.
She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Basura.
Yeah.
No, not at all. No, she said that she actually commended you. She said that you're a really good vocalist. And overall, I think she really enjoyed it.
That's why I was asking. That's all I wanted to know. No, just kidding. No, I really wanted to know because obviously, you know, she's been in the show business and whatnot. So I always want to find out what people think of what we're doing. Like, because I think we're trying to present it on a professional level. So somebody like her,
I would imagine her mom appreciates the fact that you guys have a stage dynamic.
Yeah.
Not just the talent, you're actually bouncing around and
yeah,
moving to the music on stage. The whole band is.
yeah. So
Yeah, no, she actually really enjoyed it. She was like, that was like badass. That's a badass show. And anytime
cool.
like anybody talks about Yolotli, they always talk about, you know, what a great band it is.
The stage presence.
Yeah, the stage presence, and of course like the lights, just add like take it to a whole other level, you know. But no, she really liked it. I need to get my brother to come to one of our shows.
yeah, he does need to come see one of our shows for sure.
And he'll be honest with me. He'll tell me like, you're ruining this shit, or he'll tell me, or you know, he'll give it to me how it is. But yeah, I'll have to drag him out to our next show.
And your buddies in Voyage, what do they think about Yolotli or your time with Yolotli?
Well, they really like it as well.
Mm-hmm.
They really like the production. But for the most part, like they're all on board on it, and they really like it. And what I like about, you know, these two projects is that like they're totally different things. Like I don't think they really compete with each other.
No.
Because they're just, you know, in different genres. But no, they're about it.
Again, it's two solid sounding bands and both out of El Paso.
Yeah.
Like the new single that they put out, when she showed it to me, like, damn, dude. I'm like, we're gonna lose her. They're gonna get like famous, and because it's a great song, and I'm a fan. So
I became a fan instantly also.
That's so funny. Adam was like, "The fuck, can I jump on Triangle or something?"
I'm like, dude, can I join your band too, please? Because you guys are fucking great. So yeah.
Backup dancer, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm super happy, and yeah, just to be playing with just incredibly talented musicians, honestly. But yeah, I'm excited to release more stuff with Yolotli as well. We're probably gonna look at also releasing like more acoustic stuff. Just because I don't know, I feel like giving acoustic touches, or not even acoustic touches, just like
a second life.
Yeah, acoustic songs to, you know, hard songs. Just gives it another feel even. I was always very inspired by like the Tears Don't Fall acoustic version by Bullet for My Valentine, and I was always like, damn, it'd be so cool if like Yolotli did something like that. So that's why we kind of started working on releasing acoustic things, and also just kind of expanding our audience, because not everybody listens to super hard stuff, which I don't even think Yolotli is like super hard, but and heavy, but I think it would definitely like allow us to like expand our audience and them be maybe interested in listening, and you know, listening to this side of Yolotli, and then maybe listening into like the heavier stuff. But also, yeah, it's just, again, it just gives songs like a different feel, I think, when you play things acoustically.
I can't remember who it was, but when I was younger and I'd buy my guitar magazines, I'd read them front to back because you'd hold on to them forever. Right? You'd cherish those magazines. I don't want to guess who it was. I'm thinking it was Dave Mustaine, but I might be wrong. But whoever it was talking about how they'd write everything on acoustic first. And they said if you can't make it sound good on acoustic, it might not sound good on electric, you know? And that's one of the things that I kept on doing with the shit that I write. It's usually mostly acoustic before anything.
Yeah.
That's why, like that one song that we're working on that I recorded acoustic first. I thought it sounded great. But then you mentioned going electric on it, and then me and Ryan jammed it out. I'm like, yeah, it sounds better.
Yeah.
It sounds cool acoustic, but it sounds way fucking different.
And
with overdrive.
I was kind of skeptical when we started discussing the idea of I mean, I'm not skeptical of doing acoustic stuff. I love doing acoustic stuff. Like the stuff that me and Bri do, I really enjoy that. But as far as turning our music into something acoustic, I was a little like, I don't know how we're going to pull that off. But Tony and Lori worked out the song that we have released, the IWTD2, when he sent me the initial track of music of it, like done acoustically, I was like, holy shit, dude. I'm like, this is crazy. So I was really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, we'll probably, we've worked on a couple of other tracks of our old music done acoustically. So I think it's cool to do that because it gives a little more emphasis on the vocals, obviously. Right. You know, like Bri said, it'll give somebody who's not necessarily into screaming or stuff like that a chance to, you know, to hear the songs and kind of dig into them more so what they're about. And even people who already liked our stuff, like, you can focus on the lyrics a little bit more and be like, oh shit, that song is or at least I think this song is about this or that, or so. It's cool to do stuff.
Dude,
like
it's
that.
crazy you mentioned that because I sing along to all my favorite songs, right? I always sing along to them and I don't pay attention that often. And it wasn't until recently that after, what is it now? It's what, about 20 years old or longer that Everlong came out?
Yeah.
Fucking, it wasn't until like the last year or so that I started listening to the lyrics.
Yeah.
And relating to them more so than ever before, you know, because again, I'd sing them, not pay attention, and now I'm like, damn, this is fucking heartfelt and crazy, you know? It kind of felt like, with me, honestly, it kind of felt like how people say at random times in their life, they start seeing the number 13 over and over and over, whatever.
Yeah.
With me, it's like these last 2 years, I've been hearing Everlong every so often, randomly. And then you guys posted it too, and I was like, what is it about this fucking song that's fucking ringing a bell with me, like recently, you know? But not just you guys, it just comes across. Obviously, I listen to it too, but just at random, when it comes out at random, in the weirdest scenarios or whatever, it's like, there's something about this song that's fucking punching me.
Yeah, and you know what, and like, of course you have random conversations with people in your life and everything, and my wife always, from time to time, she'll ask me like, well, what's like or she'll ask me, what's your top 10 songs or, you know, top song or whatever of all time? And if it's not number one, it's always on the list. But Everlong from Foo Fighters is like, I think that's one of the best written rock songs like of all time.
I didn't realize it was a love song till recently, bro.
Yeah.
It's sorry to interrupt, but it's funny that you say that you can actually like listen to like the lyrics more, because my friend, when we just dropped Hey Ya, she like reposted it and she's like, I actually never paid attention to the lyrics and they're kind of dirty, which is funny. But she's like, she pointed that out, that she's like, oh, I can actually you know, understand what they're saying. But yeah, Adam and I just kind of took on just doing acoustic covers just for funsies, and it's funny that Adam just kind of like puts on the captions.
I always, at the beginning of each one that we do, I always put for funsies, because, you know, when we do stuff like that, we found ourselves with a little bit of time before our actual rehearsals, and me and Bri said like, well, fuck it, let's just do, you know, acoustic songs together just for funsies, you know? So we're like, well, let's start filming them and posting them, and we've gotten really good reactions to them. The hits are always crazy, and there's always people commenting and stuff. But yeah, that was sort of where it came from, was just like, we were always thinking of ways to do content, because obviously content is king nowadays. But we were like, well, we have extra time usually when we jam. We have like half an hour, and that's really the time frame that we put these covers together. It's not like we jam them for weeks or anything. We go in like half an hour and then like, all right, fuck it, let's just record it. So that's sort of why we call it just, you know, for funsies. We're not perfecting them or anything, but the best we can do, like, fuck it, let's just do it and see how it comes out. But I think it's funny that you mentioned like hearing the actual lyrics to Hey Ya, because the actual track by Outkast is such a fun song. But those lyrics are actually really sad too. Like, they're actually pretty dark lyrics. So if you put it in different contexts, like, people have done different versions of it. Like, holy shit, those lyrics are actually pretty intense. So it's cool. But yeah, the acoustic stuff is really fun. So we're gonna keep that stuff going too. Yeah,
and I think this idea kind of came about because Adam and I will like share songs with each other throughout the week, and like just complain about work or whatever, just like message and we'll send each other songs. And then I think the idea came about like, oh, I would love to cover the song or whatever. And then we were just kind of like, hey, maybe we should just start doing covers and just posting them for content and just for funsies. And, you know, I think it's cool that we're doing like this for funsies sessions because it's given us the ability, I think, to play with songs that we've always loved and liked. And with the both of us, I mean, you know, we can just do whatever we want with it and actually, you know, cover it.
Yeah. I like the fact too that it's just like her and I and a guitar. Like we love
bare bones and
we love the whole rock show and the lights and everything. But you know, obviously when you first start out, it's you by yourself. So just to do that is always cool. To just,
it's a difference out of Yolotli too. You know, this is just downtime fun.
Yeah. So and it gives us a chance too, like we said, to bring other people into the band and what we do because. Obviously we're doing songs like Outcast and like Foo Fighters that are not exactly the same style as Yolotli, so but that gives people insight into, you know, the stuff that we like too. So in a way it gives us an opportunity to pull other people in and be like, oh well, they're doing this, but let's check out, you know, the stuff that they actually do with the band. So that's sort of the idea behind it too. So but
I think it'll be great to pull people in. Post your links to the music videos after that too, or something, and just have people go from your cover songs to.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. Pretty much any way we can pull people into what we're doing, you know. So yeah.
We're actually gonna be releasing a cover here soon with the full band.
Yeah, that's true. We're working on an actual full heavy cover, so you guys will have to keep an eye out for that. Something we've been working on for a while, but
I wonder if it's what Tony and I talked about.
Maybe, probably.
I won't say it on the air, but
I'm still keeping my lips tight for that one. So, but it should be really cool though. So
we're excited for that.
So it should be good.
I remember he mentioned it, and I suggested a song when he mentioned an artist. I was like, "This song's pretty fucking neat, and it's pretty new."
We've always, I mean, me and Tony have always toyed with covers too, and he sends me like songs that you would never think a band like us would cover. He sent me stuff like, oh, we should do this, or I'll send him songs like, oh, dude, we should do like a fucking Romeo Santos song or some shit just to mess with people. So, you know, we play with going outside of, because you can do a cover in your genre and it's like, oh, cool, you know, whatever. But when you do something outside of that genre and make it something else, I think that's really cool to do.
And that's one of Tony's stipulations, where if I'm gonna have a cover, it's gonna be unique to us.
Yeah, obviously it's gonna sound like Yolotli, but we don't want to do something that already sounds like in our genre. We want to do like, oh shit, they covered a Mariah Carey song and did it heavy or some crazy shit like that, you know. So yeah, it'll definitely be something, a sort of a curveball, but it'll be good. We'll put our touch on it.
Right on. So, what do you guys want to promote to close this off?
Ooh, I mean, we have a show up in July with, like Adam had mentioned earlier, at Love Buzz. We're going to be playing for a touring band. In August, we're going to be opening up for a Limp Bizkit cover band at the Rock House. And in September, we're going to be doing the halftime show for the Derby Girls. We're working on releasing acoustic music of like old songs that were previously released. We're working on this cover song, and releasing new music as well, and probably doing more visual stuff. So we're working on a lot, actually. We have a lot on mapped out to check off. So yeah, just doing a lot of things.
Yeah, and like I said, we already have a new track recorded with the both of us on it. So,
Reflection.
Yeah, so you'll see plans for that drop soon. Like I said, hopefully we'll put another video together for it. We definitely have our visual ideas for that video. So it's kind of it's cool because we have Benny Ontiveros who does our videos, who did the video for you. But we keep like, man, we got to just keep raising the bar. So every time we do a video, we're like, dude, we got to go further and further. So we're looking for other crazy things to do. So so we'll probably up our game a little bit for the next video. But that's definitely in the works. Do another single, all the shows and stuff that Bri mentioned. If you guys get a chance, please go check out Bri's other band, Voyage. Support her and everything that she's doing too. Pretty much just like we always say, just stick with us and keep an eye on our socials and stuff. So we're just gonna keep pushing and doing what we love to do, and come out to our live shows. I've always said it. I've said it before. I'll say it now, especially for me. I think it's on another level now that Bri's in the band. She's a freaking diva. She's a beast. So you guys need to come out, hear her sing on our stuff. Just come catch our shows. We put on a full, contact sport show with the lights and just everything that we do. So come see us. Just follow everything that we do, and we won't disappoint you guys.
Yeah, and if you do come see us, come say hi as well.
Yeah.
I think...
Y'all are very approachable.
Yeah. Well, I think...
Just don't linger.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why... Well, no, I do know why. I feel like people get intimidated, but come say hi and see what's up, and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that Bri says, before she joined the band, she came to see us.
I did.
And she's like, you guys were scary. You guys are like scary. Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? We're like the nerdiest. Like, we're so dumb. But she's like, yeah, just because the show and this music and everything. I'm like, well, I guess I can take that as a compliment to where we're doing something right. Where I guess we have that image or that idea that we put forth. But we absolutely want to hear from everybody that comes to our shows. Come up to us, talk to us.
And lo and behold, Drew's a giant teddy bear.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some days he is.
Yeah. I always say Drew's a diva of the band, actually, but no, I think everybody's just super sweet, and yeah, I think everybody's pretty much like a giant teddy bears, really. Softies.
Yeah. The scariest...
calling you guys
the scariest guy that we have in our whole entourage is definitely Paul. Is the guy that does our light stuff.
Because he's tall too, bro.
He's tall. He's a big dude. So he's like... I've told him that I'm going to start going out like on the town and put him like in his suit and put like a little cord in his ear so people think he's like my bodyguard or something, just to see what people will do. But him being the most intimidating looking of all of us, he's like I love that guy. I love that guy.
If anybody's ever looking at you to throw down, they're gonna go, oh no, we can't.
Yeah,
they got a big guy in their side.
But Paul is like the biggest teddy bear of all of us. So,
yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I don't get the whole intimidating thing that Bri used to say that we're a bunch of nerds. So
yeah, but come say what's up, and yeah, just be on the lookout for our what's coming out, and yeah.
And I'll just say support, all local artists, musicians, visual artists, painters. Go eat at local restaurants. Go, anything you can do to support comedians, anybody, Paso. We're all, trying to put this place on the map. And one of my favorite sayings that I've heard a friend say is, the rising tide raises all ships. Mm-hmm. So, anytime you have the opportunity to support anybody, or even, just as simple as sharing somebody's post or story or something, just do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Share the love.
Yeah.
Share the clicks, the likes, and the shares.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And real quick, any more podcast episodes than yours are coming up? Or
yeah, so as Rene had mentioned before, I have a podcast called The Only Thing I Know Is Nothing. I started that off in September of last year. Kind of took a little break from it because, as you know, it takes a lot of work. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but I'm in the works of starting back up with season 2. Just kind of have to get my scheduling situated and more solidified. But yeah, definitely going to be releasing more episodes. But yeah, check it out. It's on all podcast platforms. And yeah, shout out to Genuine Reference Studios for allowing me to record there. And yeah, check it out.
Record at Dark Side Studios.
Dark Side Studios for sure.
Dark Side Studios, yes. But yeah, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for coming. You guys, it was a good one. So,
Yep.
as always,
Always a pleasure, dude.
nothing but love for you guys.
Yeah.
And this has been the Long Story Longer podcast with Rene Rodriguez. I can't even say my own fucking name. This has been the Long Story Longer podcast with Rene Rodriguez and my guests, Bri Villalobos and Adam Avenue Tellez of Yolotli and Voyage. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Peace.
Peace out, people.